Hi there. I welcome you to the first lecture of the topic Oceans and Estuaries. Well, it's not a real lecture. It's more about the topic. Topic information. Hey, I'm Jochen Kempf. I'm your topic coordinator and lecturer. And I've been studying the oceans for more than 30 years. Okay, so I'm pleased to share my knowledge with you. You find me in room 312 in the Earth Sciences building. Okay. If you want to come and have a chat to me about anything related to the oceans, please make an appointment. Okay. The best way to contact me is via email. Here's my email address. Okay, you can ask questions, about the lectures or about assignments. All right. Okay, so what do you need to do for this topic? What's the essential pieces of information? Well, there's a topic study guide that you can download from Flow. Here you can see the front page. Read it carefully. It contains contact information. It contains links to textbooks, or it gives you lots of other relevant information. Okay, that's really important to read the topic study guide. Read the study assessment methods. You can download it on Flow. It tells you all about the assessments of this topic. So during the semester, what you should do is you should check the Flow announcements for this topic on a regular basis. Okay, because there is information regarding upcoming assignments. Okay, that's important for you. So I expect that you read announcements on a regular basis. Okay, that's the main tool of communication. Okay. All right, let's talk about a few aspects. Okay, just a few aspects. So this topic has lectures. Okay, and the lectures will be presented as YouTube videos. Okay, I will release 2 new lectures every week on Mondays. Okay, and then you should watch the lectures. Okay, because there will be weekly quizzes, where you are asked questions about the lectures. And the quizzes altogether, there will be 10 quizzes, are worth 20% of this topic. Okay, so if you fail all these quizzes, you can only get a maximum of 80 out of 100. All right, there's also tutorials. And the tutorials commence in week 2. They're also presented as YouTube videos, and they discuss additional content of relevance to the written assignments. Both copies of lecture notes and tutorial notes will be available on Flow. Okay? So the practical sessions commence in week 2. Check your calendar for session, location, and dates. Okay, so now an important note. Okay, attendance at practical classes is not compulsory. So there are these sessions on Fridays where you can get help. Okay, we have a demonstrator. Okay, you can ask demonstrator. The demonstrator will help you, but you don't need to go. But if you don't go, there will be no help available for you. Okay? So only if you're confident that you can do it from home, only in that case, it's not required for you to come. I can strongly recommend you to attend these sessions if you need extra help. All right, so if you send me an email and say, oh, my computer at home didn't, or the internet broke down or stuff like that, you know, that's not an excuse. You can come to the computers here at Flinders, to the CML rooms in the Physical Sciences building. You can use them, you can do your assignment, and we also have help sessions. Alrighty-o. There's some books that you can download. Okay. And the first part of this topic will be based on the Tomczyk and Gottfried textbook in regional oceanography. Okay. And I will also refer to a book that I published with Piers Chapman some few years back, Upwelling Systems of the World. And you can also, if you contact me, I can give you a copy of that book. And if you're interested in physical oceanography, there's a free textbook by Robert Stewart. And I'll also give you the link to that textbook. Okay, let's talk about the assessment. This topic has two parts. One are practical assignments. There are 8 assignments. Each counts 10%, so altogether 80% of the total mark comes from these practical assignments. And then there are 10 multiple choice quizzes, weekly quizzes, each counting 2%. You have a total of 20% of these online quizzes. So just a little bit more detail. The computer-based assignments cannot be completed with online AI apps. So here you have to do some calculations, you have to prepare graphs, answer a few basic questions, and so you can't do that with AI. You know, you have to do these things yourself. Okay. All right, good. So, is there anything else? Okay, the online multiple choice test is. So I'll tell you how this is going to work. Okay, on Fridays I will release a few questions, and there will be only something like 4 questions. Okay. Multiple choice test. Again, there will be 3 answers will be offered, but only 1 is correct. And you have the entire weekend and until Monday, something like 5 p.m. That's the time you got to answer these 4 questions. But you only have 1 attempt. Okay? So you can see the questions on Friday, but you only have 1 attempt to answer them. And some questions might be trivial and easy, you know. And some questions might be, well, I expect that you have a little bit of time to, you know, do a few little calculations or look it up in the lecture video or so. All right? But if you get it wrong, it's a 0. And if you get it right, you get the full mark. All right? And these quizzes cannot be repeated. You know, there is no excuse. You have a full, unless you have sort of, you're sick for an entire weekend and something like that. All right. So these are the 2 components of assessment. And you're probably all familiar with the assessment grades, you know, which are given here at the top You know what a high distinction is, what a distinction, a credit, a pass, or a fail is. All right, and there will be penalties for late submission. So most important for this topic is that you just stick to the deadlines, start early. Okay, maybe what I would do is I would actually already start on a Monday and try to do it at home. And so, but if it doesn't work out, if you need help, you come to the Friday session for these computer-based assignments. And and then you can complete and submit in time. So assume knowledge and skills. We actually assume that you have basic skills in mathematics. We're not talking complicated stuff. We're only talking simple calculation, a little bit statistics, knowledge of basis functions, a little bit algebra and trigonometry, simple vector manipulation, stuff like that. We also expect that you know how to use Excel, for calculations and the preparation of standard graphs, and only very basic stuff. And we're not going to teach you these skills. So it's your responsibility to enhance your math and Excel skills using freely available online resources. If you're now freaking out and say, "Oops, what do I do? What do I do?" There's readily available information on the internet. Okay, if you want, you can contact me. I can send you some links, but I need to know what are your weaknesses. You have to be really a little bit more concrete, and then I can send you some links to useful resources. Indeed, we also have various help services available at Flinders for students. So here we go. This is the teaching schedule. Not only the teaching, also the assignments. I'm not going through all the lectures now in detail, but just overall, this topic has two parts. One talks about the larger scales of the oceans and something we call regional oceanography, and we talk about the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Indian Ocean, and we go through all details, the various aspects of it. We're talking about the surface circulation, we're talking about the deep circulation, and the focus will be also on regions where you have a high biologic productivity. So-called upwelling systems. And that's the first part. Associated with that is there's a number of assignments. Some are basic assignments, and some are focusing on particular features like the East Australian current, and we look at Mediterranean water outflow and so on. After the mid-semester break, we focus on coastal and estuarine oceanography. We look. There's a special focus on the coastal regions and on the rivers connected, the so-called estuaries. And again, we have a number of assignments that are closely linked to the lectures. We, for example, have an assignment about the upwelling index, or heat stress. The marine heat waves, stuff like that. If that's not good enough for you, and if you're sort of a little bit worried that you miss the basics, I also provide you with the links to the first year lectures of the marine sciences topic. So in the topic manual, there's these links, and you can click on them, and that links you to the YouTube lectures on different basic aspects of the marine sciences. Okay, you can see that full list here. Okay, so if you need more basic material, here are all the links. All right, just a few tips on how to learn. Well, probably most important is that you actually watch lectures. Okay, and then at the end of each lecture, you should revise the content of each lecture. Write a list of key points for each lecture. And in my lectures, actually, at the end, there are key study questions. And you can look at these questions and test your understanding. Okay, from these questions, you can also see what I consider to be the most important points. The second learning tip is about the language, because scientific language is different. So you will hear many words and many terms that you never heard before. So what I suggest is keep a notebook, diary for lectures and the tutorials. Make a note of terms that you don't understand and learn about them in your spare time. So learn 2 new words each day. Okay. There are many things. I can throw some things at you. Okay. Or for example, bathymetry. What's the bathymetry? Okay. Or it's also about concepts, or it's about what's the shelf break. Okay, what's the continental shelf? There are so many words that you know, and then you get confused. Euphotic zone, phytoplankton. Why don't you write a little book and just a little explanation? Right. So the last tip, number 3, is that you should read scientific papers. If you're interested in something like marine heat waves, I've mentioned that word before, download a couple of papers and you have access. If you use through the university, you have access to scientific publications. And read. And if you do that, it will take a time. It will be difficult to understand first, but over time you will learn and get used to scientific language. All right, that's already the end of this information session. Okay? And I hope that you enjoy and make the most of your study.